Hi there, this is Rob, and this is the 2-minute overnight overview for Wednesday. Here's Tuesday's odds sheet. As you can see, there were a good number of indices that met the minimum criteria for possible long trade. However, ES was not one of them. Price action was showing mixed odds, and while internals were strong, seasonality was weak. So all this averaged out to very mildly bullish numbers. The criteria for ES just missed on Tuesday, but there was enough supporting evidence from the other indices that I may have considered a long trade. But since seasonality was weak and I would be using a lower target amount, that meant I'd be risking 8 points to try and make 3 3/4 points. That's fine to do in a high probability trade, but when odds are already borderline, that doesn't create a very attractive risk-reward setup. If all these other numbers remain the same, but seasonality was strong, and I could use a 9 1/4 point target and an 8 point stop, that would be a much more attractive scenario. So with a borderline setup and an unfavorable risk-reward, I passed. ETF traders can't utilize stops and targets, so I mentioned in the trading room that risk-reward was probably not out of line for an ETF trader. Let's take a look and see how it played out. ES made a few attempts to break higher during the night, but drifted lower in the hours leading up to the open. In the end, it gapped down 2 points, so passing on this one turned out well. The ETFs actually opened mixed, with SPY and QQQ down slightly, and IWM and DIA gapping up. Let's take a look at the daily ES chart, and I'll share a little research. Yesterday's drop was the biggest decline since July, so this morning I ran a little study to examine other times ES suffered its worst loss in over 40 days, and then gapped down the next day. Buying at the close and holding until the following morning would have produced the following results. The numbers suggest a possible bullish edge. Of the 30 total instances, 21 have led to a gap up the next day, and the profit factor has been a very respectable 2.6. Looking at the average winning and average losing trades, you'll see that volatility following the setup has been quite high, and the largest gap up and largest gap down are both big enough to strongly impact the overall numbers. Let's take a quick look at the chart. It's definitely choppy, and the last 3 instances have been followed by small gaps down, but the curve and the numbers all appear strong enough to suggest at least a moderate upside edge. Of course, I'll be looking to the odds sheet and any other studies that appear before making any trading decisions.